Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Think Tank Sports. Think Tank Sports, where we think and you listen. Check us out on the socials, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Listen to us on Spotify for podcasters or wherever you get your podcast, except Stitcher, as we talked about. Bye-bye, Stitcher. Apparently, they just couldn't stitch you up anymore. And watch us, of course, on YouTube as we continue our video journey here at Think Tank Sports. And we're back, and we are here to talk Yankees baseball, which has certainly been a frustrating season with very little excitement outside of one nice little run there. We're going to talk the All-Star game. We're going to talk more poor Yankees. And then we're going to try something a little new with kind of an all-star at halfway point of the season at Mike's suggestion to talk about all the teams. So we'll see that. But, hey, I mentioned Mike, and it probably means he should also talk on the podcast. So, hey, Mike, how are you?
I'm doing okay, Dave. I mean, our last place New York Yankees are not exactly giving me the summer warm and fuzzies that we were hoping for.
No.
And it's certainly very frustrating, not only because, the injury bug continues to hit our stars and the depth of the organization.
Did you just call Josh Donaldson a star?
No, I was referring to Judge. And
okay. All right. Continue.
LeMahieu. Yeah.
Continue.
Our pitchers. Yeah. It's just frustrating because it's like we've had the strength test for the depth of our organization every year, it feels like, and it continues to hold up. But I think, the first half of this season has been really a breaking point. And there needs to be some changes made. But we'll get into that, of course. But we have to, unfortunately, Dave, go back before the All-Star break. And this terrible Chicago Cubs series, a team that is probably overachieving a little from what we thought they were going to do, but still the Yankees should beat and outclass in almost every series they play against them this year, which is only this one, of course. And the Yankees lose 2 out of 3, winning the Saturday tilt 6-3 against the Cubs. I don't know. I don't really have much on this series other than that. Dave, do you have any insights or anything I know it was a while ago. Yeah.
No, it's fine. As I was going back, I think going back one more day really gives you the feel in a game what the Yankees really needed to have after. And I know we did not talking about this series, so I'm going off script here. But we can do that because here we go. The Yankees had won 2 out of 3 at home against the Orioles, had a huge Thursday game where they could win 3 out of 4, and Luis Severino pitching, who had just been, awful basically. Right. And they lose 14-1, Mike. And I don't want to go crazy on this, but we had talked about this potentially being one of their biggest games of the season. And Severino got lit up for 10 hits and 7 runs and couldn't get out of the 3rd inning. And Albert Abreu gave up 6 more runs. I mean, it was just awful. And so then to go into the Cubs series and lose 3-0. So it was 14-1 on Thursday. They lose 3-0 against the Cubs on Friday. Right. They win Saturday, and then I think, was it after Saturday they announced the firing of the hitting coach?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So firing the hitting coach, they bring in the mayor, Sean Casey.
The mayor.
Yeah. And I think they didn't play that last Cubs game with Sean Casey. I think he was.
He hadn't come in. Right. Yeah.
Right. And they lose the last game going into the All-Star break. You want to win the last series. You want to have some momentum, play sharp. And that game on Sunday, they lose 7-4 to the Cubs and really an embarrassing fashion, throwing the ball around and not getting timely hits and giving up, a big hit to a mediocre player. And it was just very frustrating. not only not winning that game, but ending what is essentially the first half on that note.
Yep. 6 of the 7 Cubs runs came in the last 3 innings against the bullpen. Herman again pitches great, 6 innings, 1 hit, 2 runs, 9 strikeouts. And then you just, you get into the bullpen and, Hamilton again, Mike mentioned throwing the ball around. You have the Gleyber Torres error. Hamilton gives up 2 runs. Marinaccio gives up 2 runs. Nick Ramirez gives up a run. It certainly was very disheartening, to say the least, to finish. And the Yankees finished the first half at 49-42.
49-42, 4th place at that time.
Yep.
And not the problem is not only are they just barely above 500, but they're not showing any promise. They're certainly trending in the wrong direction. Judge, we find out shortly after, is not coming back right after the All-Star break, as was, been told to us since the beginning of his injury. So, he's close and he's taking batting practice and all that stuff. But still, if you think they don't need him in the lineup, you're crazy. He absolutely had to come back.
Yep.
And now we fire the hitting coach and the bullpen. The break couldn't come at a better time for pitching staff, that's for sure, and our health. But yeah, just cold ice bath of a feeling going into the All-Star break, buddy.
Yep, no doubt. Very challenging. I think we got excited because, Stanton got hot and hit a couple of home runs in the Saturday game. And right. I think either you or Steve, the text was, oh, great, Stanton's getting hot right before the All-Star break, and then he's going to tail off. Well, he didn't tail off, thank goodness. And he has continued a hot streak there. But still the clunker going in. We did have, a nice highlight with Garrett Cole was named the starter for the American League in the All-Star game, which I was a little surprised by, but okay, we'll take it. And, he had a 9-pitch, first inning, aided by, a couple of great catches in the outfield, one in left field, one in right field.
Yeah.
So, good for Garrett Cole, kind of like the Yankee highlight as far as the All-Star game goes. But Mike, we should back up a day because the home run derby was tremendous.
Okay.
I thought
you like
the home.
Do you like the bracketed format then?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Prior years, when they weren't doing bracketing, I really was like, well, who's doing what and
right.
Who's ahead, and you lose all those things. Look at this is like all the other sports are bracketed, whatever it is, bracket. So right. Yes, I did like it.
Okay.
It
was a lot of
J-Rod put on an absolute just round for the ages. So this is in Seattle, folks, if you weren't paying attention. And Julio Rodriguez, coming off his losing to Juan Soto in the finals of the home run derby the year before, comes out in the first round and they were talking about the pitcher, Mike, and it was almost like Little League.
Yeah.
He just short arming it, like no wind up, just throwing it, just basically just the arm, not even stepping, and just grooving the ball. And Julio Rodriguez, and we find out after the fact, and because he doesn't do much in the second round, that he just wanted to give Seattle a show. And oh my goodness, 41 home runs.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it just, that part was tremendous for me. I think my biggest takeaway, the piece that I loved the most besides that, was Adley Rutschman. Yeah, and his fair. Dad is out there pitching. No catcher has ever won the home run hitting contest. And Rutschman, hits, I think he hit 20 from the left side or 21.
Yeah,
right in that range,
right in that zone. Yep.
And then he gets to, the break and he's got some extra time, hit 30 seconds. He had one home run. No, he just had the extra 30 seconds and comes back out and turns around and hits right-handed and sees 8 pitches and hits 6 of them for home runs.
Yeah, not bad.
I mean, he was just on fire. It just was great. And then I'm trying to remember who he went up against. And I felt bad
because go up against Luis Robert, right?
Oh yes, right. And Robert just hit some bombs as well.
Just flicking his wrist too. The innate power, Luis Robert. I mean, he was not exactly a big stride, full swing, Ken Griffey type of Mark McGwire home run swing. It was a flick of the wrist almost, and gone. So.
But yeah, he hits 28 to Rushman's 27. It was just very disappointing. Robert is great. He came in as the number 1 seed and, the most home runs and all this. And you saw why he's so good. But just from a storyline perspective, I just really enjoyed Rushman.
Of course. And the whole dad aspect and all that. How can you not?
Yeah.
How can that not be something that's as pure and as baseball as it gets? You know what I mean? Yep. There's no other sport where that's happening. So that's tremendous.
And yes, for sure. And by the way, Julio Rodriguez was against Pete Alonso from the Mets. So that was great that he clobbered him by 20. But Rodriguez went first. I mean, Alonso there's really not much you can do there. I mean, he had to come out and just, tattoo the ball, and he gets 21 home runs, which is respectable, but
sure. What are you going to do?
Against 41, what are you going to do? Yeah. So,
for me, Dave, I enjoyed all of that. For me, the chaos of pitching the ball before the previous hit has landed. Sometimes I got lost in all of that. And of course, the kid that gets hurt in the outfield, I've said it every year, get those kids out of there. I know he was a little older than some of the kids out there, but still, I don't know why that. I know it's entertaining for the players' kids to kind of be involved and all that, but there's got to be some kind of minimum skill requirement or age or something at this point, because there's just disaster waiting to happen. There's no good stuff to it.
Yep. No, I totally agree. And Mike, thank you for bringing up the delay. And I don't have a solution for this. My God, if I did, I could make some money off of it. I cannot stand the TV coverage of the home run derby because the guys are swinging and the announcer's like, oh, that's gone. And you see the counter, the split screen. So you see them swinging, you see the ball landing. You don't know which ball is which home run. The counter is moving, not moving. I mean, it's so disjointed.
Right.
And I don't know. I know they're trying to show everything. Can we just go back to one screen where you see the hitter swing and then you flip the screen and you see the ball land? Like,
right.
I don't know. It's so frustrating. It's been going on for a few years, and I know I've talked about it before, but I don't have any other solutions.
Yeah, maybe they have a pitch clock now. Maybe there's a 5-second. Maybe extend the time in the round and you do a 5-second pitch clock, so that way we can see, the ball land and the camera can get back or whatever. Like you said, if we could figure it out, we wouldn't be doing this podcast. We'd be somewhere else. But
or we'd have a big sponsor. Speaking of sponsorships, if you're looking to sponsor us here at Think Tank Sports, please reach out and let us know.
Speaking of sponsorships, Dave, over the All-Star break, the Yankees announced that Star Insurance has paid enough money where they'll be putting a patch on the Yankee uniform. So the Yankee uniform, the pride of Major League Baseball, no name on the back, of course, never sullied by anything other than honoring someone who's passed away, sells out for advertising, and George Steinbrenner is flipping out in his grave. So what, other than being upset by that, Dave, which I am, I don't know if you can tell, I say this. Okay, Hal, you decided to sell out. Star Insurance is our new sponsor. Sell the stadium rights, sell everything, because once you in for a penny, in for a pound. But also now you got to go get Juan Soto. I want to say Arenado at third and Goldschmidt at first, Soto in left, and Ohtani in the bullpen, because you're saying that money is more important, or we need more money to win. So if you're going to say that, that's fine. But the actions on the other end have to match. If that doesn't happen, and of course, I'm not going to get all those guys. That's ridiculous. But if they don't make a big splash, coupled with this hiding, almost throwing it out during the All-Star break weekend, so kind of throwing it out with the trash, as they say in media.
Right. It gets lost.
I think that it's very hypocritical against the Yankee tradition. And if you're going to do that, let them wear beards and mustache, and all of that stuff too. Everything's out the window now that we have a sponsored patch on the Yankee uniform. What say you, Dave? Is that just an old man?
Oh no,
sports,
no,
opinion?
Not at all. And I think, this is hard potentially for other fans of other teams to understand, because, this is happening around the league, but this is the New York Yankees we're talking about. Like Mike said, this is the jersey. This is
right.
the tradition that has, withstood the test of time. Why in the world are we now going down this? And it's not like the Yankees are hurting for money.
Right.
I mean, the Yes Network is
the Yes Network, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes Network is bringing in money.
Right.
Fans are still showing up to the games. It's not like the Yankees are toiling in,
merchandise is flying up.
Well, I was going to say toiling in last place, but they are. But that being said, they're not a horrible team. It's not like it's a gimmick thing to try to, get some interest going and get some players. No, this is the New York Yankees, who have made the postseason umpteen number of years in a row. Mike, I'm very, very disappointed to hear this. And I agree with you. If you're going to do this, then you just throw everything out the window, and now we get beards and long hair.
And for a pound, right? Yankee
Stadium, would become the Boston
Stadium.
Red Sox cowboy up down there in New York City. Nobody wants to see that, by the way.
No.
But as Mike said, you've now opened up the box. It's not Pandora's box, but you've opened up the box.
Yep.
Mike, very, very disappointed. I don't remember seeing these. Have these patches, are they on the jerseys now?
I didn't catch the game on TV last night on the radio, so I don't know what has transpired. I haven't really caught any of the games. I had a crazy weekend on TV. So crazy personal weekend. That's fine.
Very disappointing news to hear.
But yeah, I assumed it was immediately. Why would you announce it and then say, starting next season? You would definitely announce that partnership to be effective immediately. So anyway, that's the way of the world. Like you said, that's the way it's been going everywhere else in baseball, and the Yankees have decided to join that. And there's nothing we can do about it, Dave, but we continue to root for laundry. We're going to continue to root for the Yankee uniform, despite who's in it. But now it just feels even more hollow, I guess.
Yeah.
To me. But let's go on to Colorado for the sake of time, because we're the tier things that take a while, I think.
This story is just buried, Mike. It's buried.
Yeah. Right. No, they certainly don't want us talking about it. And you listen to like Michael Kay and those guys in New York City on the radio. They brought it up, but not like they would if it was the Mets doing it for the first time, I guess is how I would put it. They certainly weren't as critical as I guess rightfully so. It's their employer and they got to protect themselves.
Sure.
But we don't have to, because as you said, we're looking for sponsors. So Star Insurance,
please.
Yankees, anybody else, step on up.
Star Insurance. Yeah. So the Yankees
Anybody
open up,
but the Saudi Arabians.
Right. Yes. Sweet as anything but that. So the Yankees open up the second half with a weekend series here in Colorado. Stevie Covers is out there saying, and I've got other people that live out there telling me the same thing. There's all these Yankee fans here, and it's at least a 50-50 split. I know Stevie was at the game yesterday with his young son. Game goes, into the 11th inning. Poor kid.
Of course. Yeah.
And whatnot. But yeah, he said it was like 60-40 in the stands. But
yeah, the Saturday night game was the highest attendance in Rockies history. And they were saying it was 50-50 on the broadcast, but on the radio, but still, like you said, the Yankees do travel. There's fans everywhere. I guess I'm surprised a little that in Colorado it's that. You can understand it in Tampa, Philly, places where it's regional or New Yorkers go, but Colorado, I guess I was surprised by.
Yeah, 48,632 on the Saturday. The game the Yankees win, where Clark Schmidt goes 6 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, 8 strikeouts, arguably his best pitching performance as a starter. Canely finally gives up a run, which is a little on the surprising side there, but I guess it was bound to happen. And Clay Holmes gets the save. So they have a good formula there. 6 innings from the starter, Platter, Canely, and Holmes for the last 3. And, things look good. Stanton homers again. We're kind of glossing over the clunker that was Friday's game.
Well, I like what you said there. The game we won. That was the game.
Yeah. And then yesterday's game, oh, for the love of God, it just, you have Cole going. These are games that you expect to win when your ace is pitching. And Cole, he does the part. 6 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, 11 strikeouts, Mike, and 1 walk. And then the bullpen just gives it up. Canely struggles. Holmes comes in, gives up the grand slam in the 8th inning. Now at that point, the Yankees are cruising. It's 3-0. You're like, okay. Peralta pitches the 7th. We were looking good. We're going to bring in the ace, the A team, if you will, for the bullpen, and it doesn't work out. But the Yankees rally, though. They got 2 runs in the 9th, although you can, and Mike's been on this all year with the base running blunders. Peraza, tagging up from second and going to third with only 1 out, ends up getting doubled off in a play that gets reviewed. And he was clearly out. So he gets thrown out where he would have been on second with 1 out. Instead, the inning is over after the Yankees rallied to tie the game.
I'm all for being aggressive, but you got to pick your spots too. There's a controlled aggression. You have to be smart about it. And clearly that just wasn't the spot for it.
No, it definitely was not. And, that was really challenging because, that's in the 9th inning, and, then they go on to extra innings there. And, they do good things, a little Volpe stealing, and, Cabrera gets the nice hit in the 11th, to get the run to go ahead, and then the bullpen just blows it again. Ramirez comes in and stinks, and, and Marinaccio comes in, and
he's not right lately either. The last 4 or 5 appearances have been shaky at best. And the last 2 have been disastrous. So I don't think he was designed to pitch as many innings as he has already this season. But out of necessity, again, here we are testing the structural integrity of our bullpen.
Yeah, no doubt.
Failing our stress test. Yeah.
Yep. And, if you look at, you end up in extra innings. So, that's going to push a real win. But Marinaccio has been one of the, teetering on the A, more towards the A rather than the B. And so they have confidence in him. apparently doesn't have much confidence in himself right now. And so the Yankees end up losing 2 out of 3 to a Colorado team, Mike, that is now 36-58.
Ouch. So
Yep.
Cubs disaster, All-Star game, and happens, and then the Rockies disaster. And then we're where we should be. We're in last place, Dave.
Yep.
I know the American League East is, toughest division in baseball. And, there's still 70 games or so left, to make up. But when you have 4 teams ahead of you, that's a daunting task. Like, I think what I'm saying, Dave, is I'm prepared to kiss the division goodbye here on July 16th. Is that the date today?
17th. Yeah.
17th.
Nope. And I think
2023. The division is gone. So now we need to worry about wild card and who we're going to play.
Right. And, so the challenge there, right? So the Yankees right now sit 2 games out of the final wild card spot. The challenge there, and I agree with you that, probably right off the division, but 2 of the teams that they're chasing are in their division with the Orioles and the Blue Jays. And the Red Sox they're tied with the Red Sox. So the division is gone, but they still have to beat up those teams. And they've already had not played well against the Astros. That's the other team there, Baltimore, Toronto, and Houston. So the Yankees definitely have an uphill climb. And, we thought, okay, Rodon's coming back. He pitches 1 good game and then pitches, not so well in the Friday game in Colorado. Severino's pitching tonight. So we'll see what happens there.
I heard David Cohn talking about this. So when a pitcher comes back from a long layoff, game 1, they usually do pretty well. There's a lot of adrenaline, it's hyper focus, and you worked so hard and waited so long. Your family's there and all of that, and you have a good game. And then game 2, you struggle. There's just all of that, has been spent, and now you're like, all right, let's get into a regular routine or whatever, and the tendency and the numbers bear out that the second start you struggle, and then the third start is really kind of a litmus test of where you're going to be the rest of the season. So as bad as he was in game 2 and as good as he was in game 1, I don't think either one of those are the pitchers we're going to see at least the rest of the year. Now, obviously, we're rooting for and hoping that he's more towards game 1 than game 2, but just key on this next start or next start or 2. I think that's brilliant insight by Cohen. And if you want to give me credit for it too, I'll take it.
Sure. Absolutely. Great pull by you, Mike, as always. And that next start is Wednesday against the Angels in Anaheim.
So they started a series, as you said, tonight against the Angels. Here's the lineup, Dave, real quick. This is probably the A lineup without Judge. Well, there's one missing, but so lead off Peraza, second is Stanton, third is Glaber. Peraza's playing third, Glaber's playing second. Sorry. Rizzo at first base is cleanup. Bader in center field's hitting 5th. Volpe at shortstop is 6th. Connor Falefa at left is hitting 7th. Orlando Cabrera at right hitting 8th, and Trevino catching hitting 9th. So that's the A lineup right now, except for, when Judge comes back, you'd probably take Connor Falefa out of there.
Right, and put Cabrera in left. And
Judge would hit, I'm guessing, second or even lead off and drop Peraza down. I like Peraza at the top, but not with Stanton behind him. That doesn't make sense to me. Stanton's a bopper.
No.
Peraza's, going to be get on base and steal and speed. So that doesn't make sense to me. I'd almost let her see a Glaber.
Put Glaber second. Absolutely.
Yeah, but what do I know? It's only been 150 years of baseball that worked that way, and so couldn't possibly be right. Anywho, this is now this turns into a decently important series with the Angels.
Yes.
But for the sake of time, we'll break that down when they play. But let's talk about real quick, Dave. Your boy, Lawrence Stanberry III, Buster Olney. Lawrence Stanberry Olney the third.
Yes, there you go. You got it.
Buster Olney comes out on ESPN. They ask him where Ohtani's going to land, and he said Yankees, 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 and maybe the Rangers.
What?
What say you about trading for Ohtani now?
Well, is that what he was saying was trade now, or he just said
Yes.
ultimately they were going to end with the Yankees?
No, trade right now. If Ohtani's being traded right now in the middle of the year for the last 2
It
months
would
of
be
the
the
season,
Yankees.
it would be the Yankees. If it gets to the offseason, now you're going to bring the Dodgers and the Mariners because he loves the West Coast, and other teams to bear. I don't ever see him in either Chicago team. But anyway, if you're the Yankees, of course, it's Ohtani. You're getting 2 players for 1. You're getting another starter. So now you have Cole and Ohtani and Rodon at the top of your rotation. Of course, a tremendous hitter, but a DH, right? For sure. You're not going to play him in the field when he's pitching every 5th day. That seems to be the formula. So now you got Stanton permanently in left.
I think that's what you would potentially look at.
Assuming Stanton stays on the team, I guess. I doubt the Angels are interested in Stanton.
No, and I would imagine he has a big contract. Yeah. It's very interesting for me. If you're going to trade for Ohtani, I don't even think, do they do sign-in trades in the MLB? I think that's more NBA.
No.
My thought was, I mean, if you're going to trade for him,
I think there's
the expectation is, I think, from the Yankees perspective, that you're signing him long-term.
I think there's a period, if you agree in parameter to a trade, you can contact the player and talk extension.
Yeah.
But either way, I guess my question is ultimately, Dave, here's the package they're floating around. Either Glaber or Volpe, one of the two. Jason Dominguez, who's known as the Martian, he's the number 1 prospect in pretty much the Yankee organization. And Josh Donaldson because of salary implications. So those 3, one of the two. The Martian.
Well, Donaldson and Torres. Dominguez, he plays in the infield, right?
No, he's center fielder, I believe.
Okay, so
but he's probably.
But if you trade away Glaber,
then
I think you're saying Oswaldo Peraza is going to be your second baseman. Then.
That's right.
I'm not crazy about giving up Jason Dominguez. But I think if you're going,
Volpe, I would not be crazy about.
No, I would not be giving up Volpe. I think Volpe's off. And if Volpe's off, then I guess you have to give up Jason Dominguez. As far as that goes. If you're going to get Ohtani, I mean, he's as big a name as you get out there. So you've got to give up a top prospect. Donaldson, goodbye. See you. They need to DFA him if that doesn't happen. I would be sad to see Dominguez go.
Me too. I'm really looking forward to see what he can do.
I'm not crazy on Ohtani. I know
wishy-washy.
Yeah. I mean, he's a tremendous talent. I can't deny that. Despite all that doesn't mean I want him ending up on the Yankees.
Right. And especially if it's only for 2 months. Give up all that for a 2
with
month
no guarantee that he's going to be there beyond that.
So I mentioned a few other players earlier, just rapid fire. Would it be worth trading for and maybe signing them for the next couple of years? Juan Soto seems to be a name that's out there a lot. The Padres scuffling, maybe although they've been playing much better lately. The scenery for him. Would you like him on the Yankees?
I guess the hard part is the Yankees have plenty of outfielders.
Yeah, that's true.
Do they have somebody of Juan Soto's talent? Well, no, but they have outfielders.
Is Juan Soto's talent? I mean, he was incredible for the Nationals in their World Series run, but I don't know if he's done much since, to be honest with you. I'd have to dig deeper into that. How about Arenado at third? That seems to be another one. The Cardinals are really struggling.
You
Again,
know, I
depending on
look,
who you had to give up. I could see Josh Donaldson back in the Cardinals uniform for sure.
yeah, I mean,
But you'd have to give up some prospects for that.
yeah, he's tremendous defensively, but he's also older.
Right. What
You know,
are you
I'm
swapping
not,
out? Right.
yeah, I'm not sure I'm at this point for the Yankees wanting to swap age for age.
Okay. I agree completely. I wish we could argue about it, but I totally agree.
Yeah.
All right, folks. So we're going to get to this tier thing that we've decided to take a chance on here today. No power rankings, but I think you'll see that what we're about to do will make up for that for sure. So I don't know if our tens of listeners, Dave, or you were aware of tiermaker.com. I noticed it about 6 months ago. It's probably been out longer than that, but it's gotten popular in sports podcasting for sure, and other topics as well. So what I thought we would do, and Dave agreed graciously, is to use this tier maker to rank all of the Major League Baseball teams based on solely their first half performance. So all before the All-Star break, compared to what their expectations are going into the season. So, I mean, we'll start just as an example, Dave. The tiers are A, B, C, D, and poop emoji. F.
Yes.
Now on this tier maker, it's pretty cool because you can make as many tiers as if you want. So if you want someone less than poopy, whatever that is, you could put someone there. If you want someone above an A, you could put someone there.
Is that double secret poopy?
Double secret poopy, right. So again, what I thought we would do is just kind of go team by team, some of them, or give us a chance to talk about some of these teams we haven't talked about. A lot of them obviously going to be, in the middle, but that's the way it goes. But I think the fringes are very interesting. So let's start. Do you want to start in the American League East or end there, buddy? Where do you want to start? Pick a division to start.
Let's start with the American League West.
American League West. So the Texas Rangers are 55-39. They're in first place in the division and have a excellent home record, 30-18, 25-21 on the road. What do you, A through F? What do you think?
Through poopy.
Yeah.
I mean, I had them as an A. I think one of the class teams in the league. There's no doubt they've been a great team the whole first half of the year. Perhaps overachieving a little bit. Obviously, they, losing, some pitching there is challenging with DeGrom, but I have them as one of my A teams, if you will.
Excellent. Do you happen to have, the over-unders from before the season?
Yes, I do. The Rangers were at 81.5 and they're 55 right now. So, and just for pace. Nice round numbers, figure that there are 60 games left. Some teams have a little bit more, some teams have a little bit less. 60 games left to get to 81 wins seems very, very manageable for Texas.
Yeah, I totally agree. I have them in the A as well. I, kind of thought early that they would be good, and they're doing so. So happy to hear to put them in the A category, Dave. Yep. How about the Houston Astros? 52-42.
Houston Astros.
3 games out of first place. Certainly have had their struggles this season, but seem to have bounced back. What do you think?
I have them in my B group, Mike. Just down a little tier. I think, there certainly is potential there, but they have struggled more so. And this is an Astros team that had the highest over under total at 97.5. And they're at 52 right now. It's going to be a bit they'd have to really have like a 40-20, more than a 40-20 finish to get to 97 wins. So seems like the Astros are going to fall a little bit short of that, but I still think they're very good. So I have them as a B.
Okay, excellent. Me too. Can't argue anything with that yet. How about the Seattle Mariners? 46-46, even 500, 8 games out of first. Everything is at a 500 level, just about.
Yep.
25-22 at home, 21-24 on the road. Exciting young team. What do you think?
Yeah, they're in my C group. And I have them C. I mean, part of it, okay, they're 500, but also, they certainly had a good season last year. I think there was some expectations they were going to do a little bit better. Vegas Insider had them at 86.5, Mike, and they're at 46 right now. So, again, another team looking at, a 40-20 second half to get to. I just don't see it happening.
Excellent.
So I have them as a C.
What are, as fun as they are, it seems like every move they make takes away from their team. And I know Jerry DePoto's been around forever as a GM, and he likes to make moves. And remember a couple of years ago, he traded Griezmann away, and the team was upset about it, but turned out to be the right thing. Yeah, but turned out to be the right thing on the field. So got to give them the benefit of the doubt. The Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, Dave, 46-48. 9 games out. Everything's below 500. Home is 24-22. Road 22-26.
Yep. I also have them in my C group.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, they're fringe there, but this is the Angels. They're just never good enough. They've been up and down this year. They've had some, nice stretches, and now they're in a bad stretch where it's 2-8 in their last 10. They've lost 11 of their last 13, fading out. What do they do? Of course, Mike mentioned the Ohtani trade talks will kick up for sure, as the trade deadline is just 2 weeks away. So I have them in my C group, Mike.
Okay. And I'm sorry. I have them in my B group. I think that they are a little better than I thought they were going to be. That doesn't mean I think they're doing well, but I really thought they were going to be terrible. So I gave them a little bit of a benefit of the doubt there. Probably could make them a D. If you talk me into that, for sure. The third Rondon and third base has been a disaster. Yep. They just haven't been able to round the right guys around Trout and Ohtani. And it's really disappointing to see what's going to go down in history. Is probably 2 of the best players really never even sniffed the postseason. I know they had the 1 game or whatever, but and then the Oakland Athletics, Dave.
F. Poop.
Interesting.
Poop. I mean, they've won 25 games, Mike. They've played 95 games and they've won 25.
But what did we expect, I guess, is my question.
Yeah. I mean, not much. Vegas Insider said 59.5. So, okay. They're going to struggle to get to 59.5. I just think F. I just don't see much out of them.
Okay.
Moving to Las Vegas doesn't move them out of my poop category, if you will.
Okay, I'm going to give them a D.
Okay.
I think they've won some series, that were unexpected and just kind of been a little bit better than terrible. That being said, they're still going to challenge for the worst team ever, so I can't give them more than a D. But they're not just an automatic lay down every day. So I guess I'll have to give it to them. Okay. You want to run us through the National League Central, and I'll
National League Central or American League Central?
Oh, American League Central, not bad.
Yep, sure thing. Yep, American League Central, the division that nobody wants to win.
Yes.
So at the top there, Mike, is the Minnesota Twins at 48-46, just a
Mhm.
meager 2 games over 500. This is a team Vegas Insider said 84.5 wins. They're at 48. Struggles now. Polanco looking like he's going to come back before too long here, and so that could potentially help bolster a team that really, Mike, I think you and I thought were going to be better than this at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. I have them as a C.
Yes, I do as well.
For those reasons. They are in first place, so I can't drop them any further.
Yep.
But I agree. I thought they'd be a little better, and they're a little loosey goosey up there, and I don't like it. Yeah, I have them as a C. Who's next, buddy?
The Cleveland Guardians at 45-48. Definitely on the disappointing end of things. Vegas Insider had them at 86.5. So that's going to be difficult for them to get to that again. Another team looking at a 40-20 second half to get to these numbers. It's just not going to happen, Mike. And so I have them at also as a C, just because they're middling. They're only 2.5 games out. In theory, they could still win the division and make the playoffs. So I left them as a C.
Me as well.
Very good, Mike. Very good.
Terry Francona, best manager in our lifetime. Apologies to Joe Torre, or we'll have that discussion another day.
Yeah. I don't think he measures. Yep. Nope.
Okay.
Third place there in the Central is the Detroit Tigers, 41-51. Only 6 games back, Mike, of the division, which is just crazy. Vegas Insider had them at 68.5. So, hey, it's possible that the Tigers could get to, a 70-92 record, which, I mean, they probably would want to be a little better. I have them as a D, Mike.
Yeah, I wanted to put him as a D, but I don't know, maybe Brendan Burke got in my ear, but I have him as a C.
Okay.
It's splitting hairs. They are who we thought they were. They're not very good. That's how they're not as bad as they could be, and they're certainly not as good as they could be.
So they are who we thought they were, or maybe not. The Chicago White Sox just behind there at 40-55, negative 68 run differential. Mike, this team stinks. There's just no way around it. As far as I'm concerned, I gave them a D. 40-55. This is a team Vegas had set at 83.5. No chance they're getting to that, Mike. A D for your Chicago White Sox.
When you look up and down their roster, we talked about Luis Robert and the easy power, and Jimenez, Anderson, and the pitchers, Giolito and Lynn, and all these people.
Yep.
The talent, top to bottom is there.
Yep.
And they've just been absolutely horrendous. They, rightfully got rid of Methuselah in the offseason. But that hasn't made a difference, and maybe even has made them worse. And I have them in the F category, poop category. It's my first poop of the night. A colon cleansing White Sox poop of the night.
Wow. Okay, good for Mike. And the last place team, Mike, the Kansas City Royals, 27-67. They have been. They were ahead of quite a bit of the A's and then went into a major losing streak of their own. And now just 2.5 games ahead of the A's for the worst record in baseball, Mike. I have them as an F.
Okay. I have them as a D. They stink. They stink, but we knew they were going to stink. They're playing to the level I thought they would play at. So I have them as a D.
Vegas Insider had them at 68.5. Mike, there's no bleeping way they are getting to 68.5. My second poop of the night is the
Nice.
Kansas City Royals. Mike, the American League East, where our New York Yankees sit. What say you?
Tampa Bay Rays got to start right at the top, Dave. 60-36. One game ahead of the Orioles in the division with a super hot start, of course. 35-15 at home. 35-15 at home. 25-21 on the road. They have obviously some pitching issues now with injury that are going to be hard to overcome, but we say that every year about the Rays. I have them in the A category, Dave. First A.
Second A. You had Texas as an A as well.
Oh, yeah. You're right. So, yeah, Tampa Rays, great start. Fading a little, but you got to believe in the organization. And they're just going to continue to overcome these things with young people we never heard of. That's just the way it is.
Yep. Nope. That's true. I also have Tampa in the A category, a lot based on the hot start. Mike, 24-6 was their start in their first 30 games, 36-29 since then. So again, as we discussed, these teams with hot starts tend to peter out towards 500. But still, Tampa is a very good team. I totally agree with you there.
Great. Second place team we just talked about is the Baltimore Orioles, 57-35, one game out of the division. One of the best young managers in Brandon Hyde. At home, a tremendous 29-18. On the road, an equally tremendous 28-17. And off to a tremendous start. This will be my third A.
Yep. I am with you there as well. Yes, Baltimore.
I mean, if you're an Oriole fan, you have to be super excited. And every kid they bring up, Rushman we talked about, Santander, and all these kids. There's another young kid they brought up recently that even outperformed his expectations. So great job out of them. That's a rebuild that's coming to fruition finally. In Baltimore, and those are aside from being in our division, I'm happy to see them get this far. So good for them.
Yes.
A as well for you said?
Yes. Yep. They're my third A as well.
Toronto Blue Jays, David, 53-41, 6 games back at first place in the division. Home 26-18, road 27-23. This young team that has been on paper pretty challenging the last couple of years, but just fallen short. This might be the year they put it all together. Problem is, Alex Manoah turned out to be a piece of crap. And they really, I don't see their starting pitching stepping up enough for them to make a deep playoff run. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about their first half performance. I have them in the B category. I felt like they did very well with the pitching staff they have, and they're going to continue to do that in third place in the American League East.
Yep. You tempted me there for a second when you said they played like crap. I thought you were going to make them an F, but no, certainly not.
Just their ace. Yeah.
Just their ace. B. I also have Toronto as a B for a lot of the same reasons. Definitely a very talented team. Vegas Insider had them at 90.5. So, they're going to have an equally good second half of the season to get there. But they're at 53 wins, as Mike said. So yeah, good for Toronto, Mike.
And then I'm going to choose to go New York Yankees, tied for fourth. Okay. 50-44. I know that technically I guess it is tied, right? Yeah, with the Red Sox.
Yep, it is. It is percentage wise and everything else.
So Yankees 9 games back of the division, 28-23 at home, 22-21 on the road. Not great. Probably because I'm so close to the team, I give them a C. Probably should be a D.
Yep. I gave them a C as well. I would agree. Based on where we thought, and Vegas Insider had them at 94.5, Mike, and they're at 50. I mean, they're going to have again, a very good,
Yeah.
second half to get to that number. But I'm with you, right on the edge between C and D, but they are 6 games over 500. So, and only
Excellent.
2 games back of the wild card.
So that concludes the American League. We'll get into the National League. You will see
Oh,
this, folks.
where do you have Boston?
Oh, I'm sorry. I have them as a C as well.
I put them as a D.
I thought they were going to be absolutely terrible. And to be tied with the Yankees, I can't give the Yankees a C and not give them a C.
Yeah. Yep.
As much as I'd like to put them in the poop category.
Yep. And
But
Vegas
couldn't do it.
had them at 78.5, and they're at 50 right now. So Boston, they look like they could be a 500 team, which I agree with you, Mike.
Yeah.
That would be an accomplishment as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I agree. So we will, we can save these tiers and post it to our social media. We will do so. So if you're listening and saying, well, this is pointless because we don't see the final product, you will. So just hang in there with us. Let's go National League, buddy. Where do you want to go first?
Yeah, let's go, same pattern here. We'll go
Okay.
National League West, which the top 3, it's just crazy how this has shifted around so quickly in the last, week and a half. We've had Arizona up there. Mike and I have had them in the top 5, in our power rankings. But they're not in first place right now, Mike. The Los Angeles Dodgers are at 53 and 39. Again, kind of now in a little bit of a streak and playing well, and they're a game and a half in front in first place. And so I have the Dodgers as a B, Mike, and some of that for me is where I think they will finish at the end of the year. And they're still so very talented.
Oh, absolutely. I have them as a C just because they've been so successful in the past, and coming into the season, it was like there wasn't a lot of roster turnover. And how can you go against a team that won so many games last year? And they really haven't gone out and seized the division or done what their roster potential is. Now, do they have to in the first half of the season? Not necessarily. And certainly, I think you're right, you'll see them turn it around and excel in the second half. There's too much talent, too much experience for that not to be the case. But first half, I give them a C.
Yep, they just have to stay close, and they're more than close. Vegas Insider had them at 96.5, and they're at 53. So, I mean, they're certainly capable of that type of run over the last 60 games, but I mean,
yeah. So, absolutely. What's next, buddy?
Let's see. The San Francisco Giants, Mike, all of a sudden coming out of nowhere at 52 and 41. A game and a half out, doing well on the road, 26 and 19. Mike, I have them as a C, just because they've been middling for quite a bit. They've had a nice stretch here. I'm not sure they're going to hang on there, but give them a C for the San
myself
Francisco.
as well. They are who we thought they were. They're a pretty good team. Probably don't want to play them in a short series, but they've done okay this first half. They've hung around, done what they have to do. Now, can they make a run? But C for them.
Vegas Insider has them at 81.5. So they basically would be, 500 the rest of the way would get them there. That certainly seems doable for the Giants. And then the aforementioned Arizona Diamondbacks, Mike, at 52 and 42. So just a half game back, but they're in a bit of a tailspin. They've lost their last 4, and again have fallen out of first place. Despite all of that, Mike, I have them in the B category just based on how great a first half they had, and the great storylines along the way. What say
myself you? As well. I have them as a B. Corbin Carroll, rookie of the year for sure, almost in center field, almost MVP candidate for a while. And then Zach Gallen's been just a stud at the top of the rotation. But everyone's been outperforming their career stats by about 10%. And usually when that happens, you regress to the mean. We're probably seeing a little bit of that right now. But based on where we thought they were going to be coming into the season, remind me of the Giants a couple years ago that it was like, okay, they're playing well, but are they ever going to lose? Or here's the spot where they're, struggle. And they haven't up until this last couple of games. So good on the Diamondbacks. Fun organization for sure.
Yep. And 74.5 says Vegas Insider, and they're at 52. So they're going to get past that. It'd be stunning if they didn't. As far as that goes, Mike. And then one of two gigantic disappointments, both of them existing in the National League, the San Diego Padres, Mike, at 44-50, 10 games back of the division. Mike, this is a team that just can't see. They're 8 games back in the wild card, just cannot seem to get it together. Vegas Insider had them at 93.5, Mike. They have 44 wins. This is a team that are they going to buy? Are they going to sell? We already talked a little bit about Juan Soto. They've got $340 million payroll. Mike, I have San Diego in the D category.
I do as well. I wish we could argue about it, but they're terrible. Based again on like the White Sox, the only reason I have them in the D is because they played 6-4 in their last 10 and shown a little life lately. And if the pitching can come around, the starters, they're going to be okay. They have a lot of talent, but certainly underperforming drastically their expectations as well.
Yep. And then, of course, the aforementioned Colorado Rockies at 36-58. Not good, Mike. I just straight out. I have them as in the F.
You have them in the F. I have them in the D as well. I have the F set apart for 3 particular teams. And, just couldn't include them in that. They're and what they did to our Yankees the last weekend.
Yeah.
Although we're not including that, I guess, in this
analysis. No, but still 14-33 on the road, Mike, is just not getting
getting it
done. No. So that is the National League West. Mike, how about the National League Central?
My Milwaukee Brewers, Dave, resurgence again, 52-42, 10 games above 500, leading division by 2. Home record 26-21, 26-21, also on the road. Weeks of consistency.
Even splits.
Yeah, their starting pitching is one of the best. I love Craig Counsell as manager. I think they've had a really good season, and I have them as a B. Only because I thought they might have an 8 to 10 game lead in this division by now. So I held them back from the A. I think A is a special category as well. So I have them in B.
I have them as a C, Mike, just because of some of the struggles. And I agree with you. I think they should have a bigger lead. Certainly, their lead is not as substantial based on how the Cincinnati Reds are playing, which is a surprise to everyone. And if you look at the Cubs are 8 games back. So I just think they should have a bigger lead. There certainly is talent there. So I have them as a C, Mike.
Okay. And so the Cubs, like you just said, I have as a C.
What about the Reds?
Oh, the Reds. I mean, I'm sorry. The Reds are a B as well. I'm sorry. The Reds are a B. 50-44. I just said the wrong name, I guess.
Well, they both start with a C. That's good.
The surprise of the Central, 2 games back, 23-24 at home, 27-20 on the road, which is not a typical split. and exciting young team. Joey Votto's decided to visit the Fountain of Youth a little bit. If they can get Hunter Green back throwing 105 miles an hour and closing games, they're going to be okay. But I think they've drastically overachieved based on their expectations.
Oh, no doubt. And Mike, this is a team that is the closest to their projected win total of any of the teams out there. Vegas Insider had them at 65.5, and they're at 50.
Wow. I'd like to hold that over ticket right now. That would be nice.
Yep. If you had the over on Cincinnati, you are about to cash in. Straight cash, homie.
So what did you have them at?
I had the Reds as a B as well. I think they just, they've just had such a great first half, and with all the youth and all the excitement. I mean, it's the sky's the limit for them, and they're only 2 games back.
Yep.
Although
I think
they
the Cubs
did not play well against the Brewers this weekend.
No.
But again, we're only talking about the first half.
I think the Cubs are quintessential C. They're 43 and 49, 8 games back. That's who kind of we thought they were going to be. 22 and 24 at home, 21 and 25 on the road, and some fun talent. Dansby Swanson and those guys there's an excitement in Chicago about them understanding that they're not going to contend for a World Series this year, but there's at least people are still showing up to Wrigley and enjoying the team. And that's all you could ask for when this kind of rebuild as they move forward. So I get the Cubs a C.
I had them as a D, probably a little too harsh as, at 43 and 49, but they could be a little bit better, but I could be convinced to move them to the C category, Mike.
Okay, that's fair. Pittsburgh Pirates. Sorry, Jared. I have them as a D. 41 and 52. 10.5 out of first place in their division. 22 and 24 at home. 19 and 28 on the road. I thought they're, of course, O'Neal Cruz getting hurt, really killed them with their excitement. But there was a buzz, a little bit of they're going to be scrappy kind of buzz to them. And they just like a dry popcorn fart out there in the National League Central, doing nothing.
There it is. Yes, I have the Pirates as a D as well.
Excellent. And then Dave, the St. Louis Cardinals. When I said the poop category is reserved for a special lot, this is a team steeped in tradition and expectations every year to win.
Steeped in something.
Yeah. When Arenado's at third and Goldschmidt at first, you kind of thought they always have these young players that are dynamic, and they do have some of that, but they just have no pitching. Like other than old friend Jordan Montgomery, the rest of the staff has really struggled, and they are 40 and 53, 11.5 out of first, 19 and 26 at home, 21 and 27 on the road. Going to be sellers for sure at the deadline. Really just a terrible performance in the first half by the Cardinals. So I've got them down in the poopy category, Dave. Number 2 for number 2.
Oh boy. I have them as a D. I couldn't quite put them as an F, but they certainly could be, Mike. And this is you can make an argument the third biggest disappointment. Vegas Insider had them at 88.5, and they're at 40.
No, I agree. They're the third biggest disappointment.
Yep. So that's pretty bad for the Cardinals. Moving on, Mike, the National League East. I don't think there's any debate here that the best team in the league right now is the Atlanta Braves at 61 and 31. I have them as an A. Vegas Insider had them at 96.5. So they are well on their way to getting that and then some. A for Atlanta.
I want to propose, Dave, that we make a category higher than A, an S for superior or something, because these guys
double A, triple A,
whatever it is. I think this is a tremendous baseball team that had a lot of expectations and have overachieved. what the Matt Olson, Freddie Freeman swap certainly has paid off for them. No offense to Freddie out there in LA.
Yep.
But every one of their young stars is signed long term, and their pitching staff, which is going to be a little bit questionable, is really gelled together. Strider is a bona fide ace. They're just a very, very, very good baseball team that I think could really get on a run here, because the rest of the National League East is not very good, Dave. Not that they're playing as many games against them as we have noticed in the past or seen in the schedule in the past, but still, they're just an excellent ball club and an A or higher for me for the Atlanta Braves.
Yeah. All right. Yep. Definitely. Like I said, they're right there, top team as far as I'm concerned. Mike, in second place, the surprising Miami Marlins, 53-42, having a great year, and they're 9.5 back of the Braves. Miami was 75.5 for Vegas Insider, and they're at 53. Mike, I have them as a B.
I have them as a B as well. Good for them. I think if Alcantara doesn't bounce back, that they could really plummet in the second half, but still, exciting young team, like you said, and really done a nice job. But they're still, 9.5 games out of first?
Yep, 9.5 games out of first. Yep.
So I can't give them an A. Can't do it.
No, but they do hold one of the wild card spots, tied with Arizona. Sure. Basically in a 3-way tie with San Francisco and Arizona for the wild card. So doing good there. Third place in the NL East, Mike, is the Philadelphia Phillies, who are playing some of their best baseball of the season at 51-42. Doing good there. Vegas Insider had them at 89.5. So certainly a good stretch of in the 60 games that are left, they should be able to surpass that. Need to see Trey Turner step up a little bit more. So for me, based on the fact that I think this should be a little bit better, I had them as a C.
Okay. I have them as a C as well. Coming off the World Series and all of that, I thought they would do a little better. Getting rid of Zach Elfett really hurt them. He really ate up innings last year for them, and both as a fifth starter and middle relief. And you were like, "Oh, how valuable could that be?" Well, we're seeing that throughout Major League Baseball right now. So I have them in the C category as well.
Yep. And then Mike, here they are.
Here it is.
The biggest disappointment in all of Major League Baseball. Anthony Otero's New York Mets at 43-50, 18.5 games back in the division, and 8.5 back in the wild card. Mike, at 43 wins. Vegas Insider had them at 94.5. But the fact for me that they still are kind of hanging around, I left them as a D.
Boy, you are generous.
And I had them written down as an F and changed it to a D. So
softy, you're a softy. Like this poop. If the Cardinals and White Sox were solid poops, this is the diary of the category. The New York Mets running right down the basement floor. And I mean, it's just embarrassing. The new kings of New York, and we win the back page and the off season, and Steve Cohen's the savior. And guess what? They're using
the back page to wipe their ass.
There's not enough Imodium in the world to solve what's going on for them in the second half. So that's where I am with the New York Metropolitans.
New York Metropolitans, F. And then that leaves the lowly Washington Nationals, 37-56. They might, Vegas Insider had them at 59.5, Mike. They might get over that. I have them as a D because they're in last place and they stink.
Yep, same. There's nothing else to say. Last place and they stink. So that I know we're a little long-winded, but I think it was a good exercise in looking at all the teams in baseball. Next week, we'll get back to our regular power rankings, 1 through 10 and arguing there. But in the meantime, I'll get this tier over to Dave, see if we can post it on social media.
Yep.
Should be interesting to see if we get any feedback. We'd appreciate it. But until then, please continue to listen, to subscribe on all of the proper platforms, and give us feedback here at Think Tank Sports, where we think and you listen as we strive for 5. Good night, people.
See ya, everybody.